Hey, what is up, friends? You got Sturkules here. Something a little different today. I want to add some more just like fun, chill videos to the channel. And these tier maker videos were just all the rage like a year or two ago. And probably more like maybe 2.5 years ago. I was not a PokeTuber back then, so I did not get to take part in these. People still post them sometimes, okay? I want to join in on the fun, even though I'm way past when they were doing them. But I want to add some other top 10s and stuff to the channel too, as we're slowing down with playthroughs. I do want to do lots of more playthroughs in the future, but I might take a break, do a little more things like these. So the first thing I'm doing, I got 4 tier maker videos going to be coming in the next few weeks, and I'm going through starters first. Now I am doing a little different, so I'm only taking one starter from each line. Did that make sense? Yeah, I'm only taking one of the mons from each line to represent them as a whole. So as you can see, my tiers, I got up in the S tier. We got the goated starters that I absolutely love. Not as many can be up there, obviously, because they're the elite few. Next tier down, I absolutely love them. The next tier down past that, I think they're good, but there's usually just like one thing that kind of holds them back for me. Next, decent, I would use them in a playthrough or on a team. But a lot of times there's better options. Some of them I've often used before. The D tier is just meh, not for me. Don't necessarily think they're bad, just not my cup of tea. And the F tier is me saying I do not like this Pokemon. Once again, not me saying it's bad, because there's going to be some popular mons in those lower tiers. I might not be making too many friends with these, but they're fun to do. So as you can see, you can probably kind of see which ones are represented from each, though my face is blocking a few. But I'm actually going to work my way backwards. So we're going to start with Gen 8, and we are going to work our way up to Gen 1. And I don't remember, I kind of practiced through where I wanted things, so some of these will probably get moved as we go, but I'm going to try to remember. So we're going to start with Generation 8, and we're going Fire, Water, Grass. So first off, we have the Score Bunny line, and I think they're very good. I think they are extremely fun to use in battle, and Score Bunny is very cute, but I'm going to put them in decent, would use, but better options, because this is actually my third favorite starter of the Galar region. Now, I have used Cinderace in competitive and did absolutely love it, but that's not the only thing there is to me. When I'm picking favorites, design, and just how connected to it I feel matters more. So we're going to pull Grookey up here too, and Grookey is representing the Grookey and Rillaboom line, and I had it kind of between B and C, if I remember right. So right now we're going to start in good, but there's a good chance that Grookey might get knocked down. Now, the reason I'd even put it in good, but first off, I would put Rillaboom, and I would actually put Raboot if I could. Those sprites were not on the list though, but I like Raboot the best of the Cinderace line, and I like Rillaboom the best of that line because I do think gorillas are very cool. Grassy Surge is really cool also. I've just gotten kind of tired of seeing Rillaboom, and I shouldn't say that because it was on my TPA Season 2 championship team. But, you know, it's everywhere. So it's good, but little tired of seeing it, little overused. So going to Sobble, I absolutely love this line. I love Sobble, one of my favorites. I am in the very few people who thought Drizzile looked cool. I get the whole emo thing can be kind of annoying for the middle stage starters at times, but you got to get a little My Chemical Romance emo music in your life every once in a while. But I liked the water bubble it would throw. It has these fun looking mitten type things, and I loved the color scheme between blue and that lime electric-ish green. Electric green, is that the right word? Electric blue is a word, and electric yellow. Not electric green, you know what I mean. But I'm a big fan of Sobble. In fact, that line did go downhill each round, right? Sobble was absolutely the best one. But that's just how it goes. But I do absolutely love it, even though Inteleon, design-wise, was a little bit of a letdown. I'm a really big fan of Sobble. I think it's adorable. I'm a pseudo-method hunted for a shiny one, and I seriously considered making it a level 100 Sobble because I thought it was so cute. But I decided I might use it for online stuff every once in a while, so I decided to evolve it. So that's where we're sitting after Gen 8. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Grookey went down to the C tier, just because I like to make it look a little neat at the end. So going for Gen 7, going Fire, Water, Grass again, and Litten. I love cats, man. I really do. Mons like Berserker, Mons like Esper and Meowstic, I absolutely love them. I'm not a big fan of Litten. Now, I am trying to take the whole line into account, and Incineroar is really fun to use in battle. Torracat's pretty cool for middle stage evolution to use in battle. But to me, Torracat and Litten, they just look a little too much like normal cats to me. And you might say that with some other things too. Like Scorbunny kind of just looks like a bunny. Fair enough. But I'm gonna put it, and I don't really like it. I think Litten's cute. And that doesn't mean, once again, I don't think it's bad. I've used Litten in a playthrough before. Incineroar doesn't really do it for me, the whole wrestling vibe. But yeah, just not that in to the WWE vibe type thing. And like I said, I think Torracat is just pretty plain. Litten's cute, just not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I gotta say I don't like it. Comparatively to others, at least, there are a lot of Pokemon I dislike worse, but we gotta compare them to other starters in this. So coming up next would be the Primarina line. Now, I think Popplio is kind of cute. I wish it were a little more cute for a seal. I think that Brionne is really... I just don't like it. I don't like mini middle stages, but the first and last really kind of get me to where I want to be with my opinions. Primarina, I think it's so good to use in battle, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm in love with the design. Now, it has grown on me, but I think I would tend to think that it was decent. There's better things out there that I would normally use. I am very big on water starters, but I would put most ahead of them. But I would still use it ahead of quite a bit of other starters, to be fair. So, I mean, it's decent. So, going on to Rowlet. Now, not big on Dartrix. Decidueye, I like a lot. I really do. I think Ghost Grass is awesome. I think the whole Archer thing is cool. I think it's fun to use in competitive, even though it's not amazing. It is still good. But I love it. I do. I absolutely love Rowlet. When I first saw Rowlet, I was like, this might end up being my favorite grass type ever. I just thought it was so cool. I'm a big fan of owls. You can't love Harry Potter and not love owls. I think it's really hard not to do. But I just always thought that it was cool how owls as animals could range from so spooky to so cute. And I think they do a pretty good range of that. Rowlet starts off adorable with his little bow tie. Then he exchanges a bow tie for a bow, an archer's bow, and he starts looking very cool and even a little bit spooky with that ghost vibe. So I think they could have made Decidueye look a little bit better. So it doesn't get quite to the goated tier, but it is really good. The reason I would have it slightly behind Sobble, though, is because I like the Sobble line, all three as a whole, a little better, even though I think Rowlet and Decidueye would go a little bit above the first and second. So that's just where I'm going to have to be with that. So that moves us on to Gen 6. So through Gen 7, we don't have any Mez, and we don't have any goated yet. Let's see what we get up there. And for this, there we go. Okay, this is fine. We're going Fire, Water, Grass still, so that would mean we have Delphox, Gen 6, the X and Y starters. And I think you're going to be surprised where this ends up, because this is not a very beloved line. But let me just walk through. I think Fennekin is adorable. I think Braixen is actually really cool. I think it's a good mix between cute and cool. And Delphox is a letdown, though it has grown on me over time. It is fun to use in battle. It gets a lot of coverage. But just looking at the fact that Braixen is in Pokken Tournament, and it has so much personality. Pokken Tournament made me appreciate quite a few Pokemon more. Like, I was never the biggest Chandelure fan until I used it in Pokken, and like after I won a game with it, it was giggling and moving around and animated, and I thought it was so cool. And Braixen will like fly around on its tail stick like a broom with its magic, and I thought that was really cool. I think foxes in general are cool. Seeing the shiny for the Fennekin line made me like it a lot more. So while I do think Delphox is a letdown, I think Braixen is a fantastic Pokemon. Once again, Braixen itself as a starter, I would actually probably put in the goated tier because I like it a lot. But Delphox does hold it back, so it's just in the love it tier, okay? So Fire, Water, that means we're moving on to Greninja, my favorite of the line. Now, Greninja, when X and Y first came out, would have been very high. We're talking like these two tiers. And I still stand by that it's a great design. I love frogs, especially those sleek, ninja-looking, poison dart type frogs. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I just think they look so cool. Ever since I was a kid, I thought they were just so pleasing to look at, but also like they're so fast they could jump high. They were very cool. And even though Greninja had the weird tongue scarf, I liked that. I thought there was a lot of personality with that. I thought Froakie was adorable, seemed to be just happy, very expressive. Frogadier started transitioning to the more cool type of frog. And I think Greninja is a fantastic design, but I just got a little tired of seeing it. It's kind of like Rillaboom. You see it everywhere in competitive for so long. It became so obscenely popular because of the Ash Greninja fusion, it being in the anime, and it just seemed like a lot of people actually ended up picking it for their playthrough thing. So that just kind of happens with me. I like underdogs. I like things that feel underappreciated. And so you won't always see that reflected with my opinions, but a lot of times if I feel like something starts to get like too popular, I'm not going to go like full like having to be hipster and just be completely opposite. Be like, oh, I hate it because it's so popular. But it does make me appreciate it a little less, just having it thrown in my face so often. So that moves Greninja down to good, but it could be better. I thought the Chespin line was very disappointing. When I first saw Chespin, actually, when I first saw all three of the Gen 6 starters, the Kalos starters, Chespin was what drew my eye at first. I was like, this thing's adorable. I cannot see what cool thing it turns into. And then I saw Quilladin, and I said, please, please, let this be April Fool's. Let this be a fake leak. Let this be something. This is so bad. And it turned out it was true, and it was just so bad that it lowered the line for me. And I even started like looking at Chespin and being like, I don't think it was as cute as I thought it was. I started not liking it, and just not big on Chestnut either. Now, I will say this. If Chestnut's shiny form were Chestnut's regular color scheme, I think it would look a lot better. Right now, it almost looks like it's just so bland, and that almost looks like it could even be like a old bony skeleton color all over its body. I don't know. And it's got like the rich, deep brown and a much more pleasing, in my opinion, mossy dark type thing on it, and it's shiny. If that were its regular form and then it went with a more different exciting route with its shiny, I think I'd like it a lot more. It is pretty cool. Chestnut's pretty strong, pretty fun to use in battle. Grass fighting is a cool type, but just when it comes down to it, I think it was just such a huge letdown. The problem is we do see the first Mons and our expectations get so high. I'm gonna love Chespin. I just really am. And I just didn't. And I hate that it went that way. But life just do be like that sometimes. So sometimes on the reverse side of things, sometimes we really dislike something at the start, and circumstances change and make us like them. And let me tell you, that is what happened with my boy Emboar. Now, Emboar may end up going down. It might just be a good butt. Let's start it with a good butt and see if it can work its way up. That sounds weird. Let's start it with a good butt. Let's start it in good. I did not like this line when I first saw it. I was like, Tepig is mildly cute. Never been a huge pig guy, but it's like a cute little teacup pig type thing. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure teacup pigs don't actually exist. I think they're like a myth, kind of like panthers. Like, you know, panthers, that's a whole different video, but like there's certain animals that like, they're not actually real, even though they're not like mythical either. Like, it's just, they've been kind of, like, I'm pretty sure from what I read, this does not matter right now. Anyway, Tepig, really cute. Middle stage pig, Pignite, so bad. That is an ugly pig. Why did it go bipedal, especially so soon? You know what? I think it would have been cool if Emboar stayed on all fours the whole way through. We all think Emboar and Samurott should have switched. Samurott should have stayed bipedal. Emboar should have been quadrupedal. Is that the word? Either way. But I actually don't hate Emboar becoming bipedal in its last stage, but I think that middle stage, I think it stood up too soon. It just didn't look good, man. And I didn't love how Emboar looked. Now, I do think a lot of its designs look kind of cool, but once again, it just, to me, it felt like they were trying too hard to make it just stand out. When really, I think you don't need a whole lot to make a wild boar look cool. Like, it could have those designs and look more like a boar and less like a human wrestler type thing, and it could have been cool. But then something happened. I caught a shiny Tepig. I didn't catch one. I started with one. I was soft resetting. I think it was on a White 2 playthrough it was going to be. And I'd been soft setting hundreds, probably getting close to 1,000 soft resets for a shiny Sirvine, Snivy. And because I think it's a great shiny line. And guy I was hanging out with, he he basically just said like, hey, why don't you hand it over, and I'll soft reset for you a while. You just watch some TV. You've been doing it for a while. I was like, cool with me. And, you know, he keeps doing Snivy, and after a while he's like, I'm going to do Tepig. I'm like, no, stop. We're building numbers towards Snivy. We can't break the chain. I knew that didn't matter. But he's like, just trust me. I'm just going to change for a few. I'll do a Tepig, then I'll do an Oshawa, then we'll go back to Snivy. It's like, whatever. First try, shiny Tepig. And so through that playthrough I did of White 2, I did a Nuzlocke, and I basically gave my shiny Tepig like an extra life. Just in case it died, because you want to use a shiny. Got it all the way up to a shiny Emboar throughout the playthrough. It was a blast. And Emboar does have one of the best shinies in the world. So, and until you have that, you don't just really notice how great it is. Like I'm so sad it's not in Sword and Shield, because I can't see what it's going to look like outside of Pokemon Home yet. But once I can, I'm really excited to see that. That really bumped it up a lot in my book, being able to play with a shiny Emboar in a playthrough. So really cool. Shout outs to Cooper, my bud Cooper, for helping me get that shiny. So that was just a fun story that made me like it a lot more. Like I said, it used to be very low. Now we're to water, and we got Oshawa. Now I don't want to tell too many long stories, but Oshawa, Samurott, Duat, my favorite starter line of all time. Doubt it will ever be passed up. I think Oshawat's adorable. I low-key probably think Duat looks a little bit better. I just like the full blue. I think it has a little bit more of a menacing look. It has the 2 shells, and something about Oshawat's like white face next to the blue frilly thing makes it slightly look like a clown, which freaks me out a little bit, but it is adorable. Water type otter. Focus on the cool shell, on the good things been. But yeah, I would put Duat up there, but there's a little history with Oshawott. When my wife, now then girlfriend, the first summer we were dating, we went to some theme park in Ohio together. I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't Cedar Point. It was the other one. That doesn't matter. And we went there, and we played like this squirt water shooting game. Had to like shoot over bottles or something. And it was a super packed day, but no one seemed to be wanting to play that game. So we snuck over when no one was there. And like the guys waited and finally said, okay, I guess just you two are playing. And no matter how many people played, the winner was who got a prize. So it was just me and her. She dominated me, so she got to pick any prize she wanted. And she knew I had just started playing Pokemon White and that I picked Oshawott, and I thought it was adorable. So she picked this huge Oshawott plush, and she gave it to me. So I've always loved that line. But that really was like just a fun moment that I'll always remember. So that always puts Oshawott at the very goatedest of goated for starters. As much as I love Duat and Samurott, it's Oshawott for me. And then we got Sirvine, who I really like. But I don't like snakes. But I think Sirvine's like the exception. I think it's a cool, regal-looking grass starter. I think it's fun to use with Contrary. I used it in a Nuzlocke for one of the Gen 5 games before, and it was really clutch for me. So it really grew on me, and I do think it has a cool design. I like the whole line, and I think I'm going to put it in good butt for now. It might go up to love it. Same with Emboar. As you can tell, I really love Gen 5, and I really love the Gen 5 starters. Let's keep moving. I'm just droning on too long about those. Let's go to Gen 4 now, starting with Infernape. Now, Infernape is so cool. Ash had an Infernape. That made it great. That made it more popular. Great shiny, fun to use in Draft League, great mixed attacker. Gets a lot of versatility in use. It can pivot. But the rest of the line kind of lets it down to me. I think Infernape is great. Reminds me of Rafiki, which is always cool. Fun to use, but I think the middle line, I cannot think of it. Monferno, I think it's so weird looking. I wish I liked it better. And I used to think Chimchar was adorable, and then like a million other Pokemon came along that I think were cuter. So it's right between good but and decent, would use but better options. I think I'm going to put it there just because like if I don't get a little bit picky about things, then everything's going to end up towards the top, and I like a little more balance. So going on to the next, we have Empoleon, and I love penguins. I love tridents, Poseidon, Greek mythology. That's some cool stuff. Tuxedos are cool, I guess. Actually, not huge on tuxes, but you know they're fun to wear on occasion for the right wedding of a friend or something like that. Can be a fun time to wear a tux, and a tux looks great on a penguin. Fun to use. Water Steel, I believe it's the only mon of that type. Though I'm going to be doing in the future a Pokemon Starters retyped video, and we'll see, does it stay the same? But it has a great shiny, a lot of fun to use in competitive. Once again, penguins are just amazing. I'm going to put it in the love it tier. It's very close to goated. This is another one that the Pokken tournament made me absolutely love using. Right now I'm going to put it at the front. Also, shout outs to the man Emperor Cubone. That's his favorite Pokemon, and he has a very good choice with picking Empoleon. It's not as cool as Nidoking, but it's still very cool. So I'm going to put you up here for now. We might switch things around a little as we go, and that brings us to the last Gen 4 starter. Now, my favorite of the line is Turtwig because it's cute. I think Torterra is cool, but I don't like it. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm being objective, it is a cool-looking Pokemon. It's an amazing idea for a Pokemon. Grass and ground are cool. I love the ground typing. But for some reason, I just really don't like it very much. And I'm having trouble telling you why. We'll see which tier it goes in. It might go for I don't like it. Right now, I'm just putting it in meh, not for me. Because I can't objectively say it's a good design. Though I think its middle stage Grotle is just super weird. Not a huge fan. Something that bothers me about Torterra, it's asymmetrical on its back. And that, like, over here are trees. Or, like, is it in the back? And then there's spots where it's not. Like, I kind of wish it were either just growing out of the middle or maybe, like, a bunch of trees around it with a big one. I don't know. It seems so asymmetrical that it bothers me. So I cannot, unfortunately, put it very high because of that. It just bothers me a little bit too much. I actually have to put it pretty low. So now we're on to the Gen 3 starters, and here is where you might want to just mute me for a few minutes if you're a big Hoenn stan. I'm just not, okay? I'm trying to be. I played through Elevated Emerald. To be fair, I have loved Elevated Emerald. But that's more credit to Cole than Hoenn. Cole Rocket, my buddy, he made that game. He did a great job. The most fun thing about it was the Pokemon were new colors, new types, new shinies, new move pools and whatnot. That excited me. Still not big on Hoenn. Don't love many of the Hoenn designs for some reason. That does include the starters. So the biggest I don't like it on the list for me, I almost made I don't like it Blaziken in its own tier. Fighting chicken, man, it doesn't do it for me. I don't like chickens. I like eating chicken, but chickens, I don't know if they freak me out or they just weird me out, but just don't feel them, man. And then roosters always crowing in the morning. What's that about? That's annoying. So anyway, not big on it. And then, like, Blaziken just looks a little too humanoid for me. Like, to me, maybe that's the other thing. Like, if it looked more like a fighting chicken or like a, what's the mythical beast? Like a cockatrice? Maybe that'd be cool. A little bit cooler. But to me, it looks like a pretty, like, fit guy in a chicken costume for Halloween. Dude knows Taekwondo and was like, this will be fun. To be fair, that sounds really fun in real life. But for a Pokemon, I'm just not feeling it. Going through my other Gen 3 starters, we got Mudkip, and I think Mudkip is very cute. Marshtomp is meh. Swampert is fun to use in battle. I love Swampert, and I really love Mega Swampert. But that doesn't really necessarily mean I like its design. So I'm going to put it in decent. Would use, but better options. And I'm going to do the same thing with Sceptile. Sceptile would actually probably be in the second lowest tier. But for me, Mega Sceptile really saves it. I think, see, here's the thing. I've been saying Sceptile. Grovyle. I think Grovyle looks better than Sceptile. That bothers me a little bit, but not too much. I think Trico's cute, but I think other grass I think Snivy or Grookey or Chikorita are all way cuter than Trico. I think other things are way cooler. And then Sceptile, I don't know. Like, I don't like that he lost his hair, cool hair thingy. Like, it's like he became bald. And as a guy who's thinning up top, I don't appreciate that. No. But I do think Mega Sceptile looks kind of cool. So that does help it out a little. So going to Gen 2, we got my favorite of the line. We got Typhlosion. Right now, I'm going to put Typhlosion at good but. And it could very well be a love it. No, I think I love it. I do. Yeah, I do. When I was in college, I had seen, like, online how people would make, like, fire Pokemon cakes, like a Charmander with its tail being the candles that would be lit on fire. And she did that for me with a Cyndaquil. Sick-looking cake. And I just thought that was cool. So I've always liked it a lot because of that. But I actually just have always loved this line since childhood. Now, I want to put it in good but because Cyndaquil, Typhlosion, Quilava, and Typhlosion all look amazing. They're all fun to use. Even though they have kind of a lack of coverage, they are supposed to be getting Scorching Sands when they're introduced, so that'll help a little. I think they all look so amazing. I think being based loosely off of, like, Badgers is kind of cool. Hufflepuff, Badgers, you know. Anyway, but the thing is, in the new generations, they did do that stupid thing where the fire's not always spreading out. Like, and don't tell me that they can't do that, because other Pokemon do that all the time. Charizard's tail never goes out. Magmar's tail never goes out. Other Pokemon that I can't think of right now always have fire going around them. So don't tell me that they have to just be these normal-looking weasel badger things without fire coming out of their neck, head, whatever, back all the time. Because, you know what, it used to do it, and with other Pokemon you can do it. So I just kind of try to ignore the fact that doesn't happen. I hope when they're brought back they kind of fix that, because I think these mons are so cool. In fact, at one point in time, they probably would have been goated for me. That did hurt them a little, but I don't want to hold that against them. That's not their fault that Game Freak messed up for them. So I'm trying not to judge them too much for that. Going with the water, I think Totodile is cute. I love Sheer Force as an ability, which they get as hidden ability. Croconaw is okay, kind of boring. Feraligator's cool, but once again, I feel it is a little bit boring. I don't know. It's cool, but like it's just kind of clunky to me. They did what they did with a lot of mons, and possibly to no one worse than my boy Nidoking, and I'm not judging him for it. But they made a lot of like the fit, powerful-looking Pokemon end up looking clunky when they went to 3D. It reminds me of like looking back at old pictures of myself, like, hey, you used to be kind of muscular. Why are you a perfect oval now? And they kind of did that with like things like Feraligator. They look a little more awkward, and so. I don't know, I just kind of, it's not for me. I'm not a big alligator crocodile guy anyway. I think Totodile is cute. It was a little hyperactive in the anime for my taste. Like, chill out a little bit. You don't always have to be dancing around and biting things. Like, sometimes you just got to know where you're at, you know. But it is a first stage Pokemon. But anyway, maybe I'm hyper analyzing it. But it seems like my love it and decent tiers are getting pretty big. And I think they're about to expand. No, I love Chikorita. When I initially played through Johto as a child, I picked Chikorita. I thought it was cool. I saw Bayleaf. I was like, you're starting to look like a dinosaur instead of a pear. That's cool. And then I was like, hey, Meganium is a dinosaur with a flower. I don't hate it. I do hate I don't know, its head thing was cool. I hate that they took that away. I did get mad at Grovyle for that. I think I have to put it in good, but I try not to put like competitive or just too much battling into it. But as much as I love these designs, they are not fun to use. Like if I'm playing a playthrough, defensive Pokemon just aren't that fun. Like, how often do I want to throw up Leech Seeds and Screens and then Giga Drain in a playthrough? Like, in a Nuzlocke, sure. But in just a vanilla playthrough, it gets kind of boring. You want to be able to attack and, like, blow some things back. You want to have some speed. And while they do it okay, they just don't do it super well. So I think that puts it in a good but for me. It sounds weird when I say that, but you know what I'm getting at. So this brings us to Gen 1. Maybe this is about right. We'll have to, once we see everything, we can kind of make a few comparisons and move things around. But we're on fire, and, you know, this is tough. Something's probably going to have to get moved down. Because I like Charmander. It can't go, well... See, this is tough. I think Charmeleon. I don't like Charmeleon. Charmander's cute, but it's not as cute as I remember as a child. Now, when I first played Pokemon Blue as a child, I did pick Charmander. I was surprised. But it's actually not my favorite Cantonian Mon. Don't really like Charizard. It is overhyped, and it doesn't look as cool as a lot of other real dragons. But Mega Charizard X, though. I like that. So I want to say, I think I might have to move Grovyle. Do I move Grovyle, or do I move, like, Raboot? I think I move Raboot down. We'll just see how that's looking for now. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Raboot's cute. It's fun to use. It's just so plain, and, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Mega Charizard X absolutely saves Charmander, and Charmander is a cute little boy. We'll put him to the front actually here. And that means we have 2 Mons left. The representative of the Squirtle line. I think Squirtle's adorable, so let's move it up. Blastoise is fun. Defensive Mon can use Shell Smash. Really big on its Mega form. I actually think the cannons made it look even cooler. Adding a cannon in the back end on these, that was pretty cool. The color scheme plus the shinies are just so great. And I don't know what it is about Wartortle. Probably my favorite middle evolution of all time. Even over like Braixen, even over like Quilava, even over things like... There's not that many other middle evolutions I love. I just think it looks so good, man. I don't know. The winged ears are cool. It is weird how much it deviates. Like, what is the point of that fluffy tail and those winged ears for them to just disappear on Blastoise? I don't know. I actually kind of like... I wish they would have brought it back in the Mega somehow. I think I like Wartortle more even than Mega Blastoise. I just think it looks so good, especially when it's shiny. I remember loving it even as a kid. Yeah, I just think the whole line is amazing. Putting it in the goated tier. And third time I'm mentioning my wife this video, but her favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur. I don't think Bulbasaur is a good Pokemon. I'm sorry. But I'm going to put it at the very front of meh, not for me. Because I do want her to love me still. You know what? We'll make a change. Just because I love my wife. Boom! Decent. I would use Bulbasaur, but there are better options. A lot of better options. I don't like Ivysaur. I don't like Venusaur. I don't like Mega Venusaur. You know what? No, I'm not going to be controlled by someone who's not even in the room right now. Okay, yeah, Bulbasaur. Not for me, man. Okay, that's the list. Could I move things around? I think so. I think this is pretty solid, actually. Like, I mean, there's things I could move around here and there. You know what? Mega Charizard X has had enough of an impact that I think I could drop Grookey. Put the monkeys by each other. But overall, I think I like this. As you can see, I do really like water types. None of them were in the very bottom. One here, but Primarina could very easily like move up if I just liked Populi a little more. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the top. 5 of 8 in the top. I like fire types apparently more than I thought. Here's 4 up in the top 3 sections. And I thought I liked grass types more than fire types, but I'm only seeing 3 up here. Now I don't have any, I only have fire types on the bottom, so I guess fire types are very hit or miss for me. A lot of grass types are really underwhelming, but when they're good, they're really good, like Rowlet, Chikorita, Serperior. I did forget to mention, I think Serperior has one of the most underrated shinies of anything, which is why it goes up that high. But yeah, I think I like this list. Now the ordering could be probably messed around with a little bit, but really there's no need to focus too much on that. That's just me getting a little too nitpicky. But as you can see, I talked about, what's the word? Where, like, I said it earlier in the video. Torterra's back. It's not, oh well. I like things to look nice and balanced. So as you can see, like, we have the same amount of Mons in the middle 4 tiers, same amount on the top and bottom. It kind of happened that way, but also I may or may not have thought about that a little ahead of time and moved them around. Anyway, way too many pauses me not being able to think. I'm going to wake up at like 3 a.m. and remember the word I was trying to think of. It's going to drive me crazy. But you know what? That's okay, guys. I'm going to hop on out of here. I want you to tell me in the comments, where would you put your tier rankings? Make a video, make a screenshot, and send it to me. I would love to hear from you. Yeah, want to hear what you think. Like, subscribe if you did enjoy. If not, I completely understand that as well. No matter what, though, have yourself a great night. I am going to hop on out of here.